quarterbacks, how much they make, and what quarterbacks you're giving that kind of big money to. And we're talking about an article by Mike Sando, who basically has spotted a trend that, long story short, more mid-level quarterbacks are getting monster contracts than ever before. And he cited Daniel Jones, Derek Carr, Trevor Lawrence, and Tua Tagovailoa. So that's just something to consider when the 49ers are opening up the paycheck to Brock Purdy.
But don't you think we're on to something now? If we were to tell Mike Sando, and he probably knows it, what's happening now, Steiny, is orgs are scared of not having anything. It's like leaving a relationship, and they say that's not a good thing to do. Leave it to be for your mental health, not because you're afraid to go date or whatever's out there or not out there.
Let's go to Pat. Pat's in Foster City. Hey, Pat, what's going on?
Hey, guys, thanks for taking the call. Yeah,
sure.
Good conversation around the quarterback and all.
Thank you.
You know, you were talking about some quarterbacks a while back. You know, if I came up with a couple names like quarterbacks, Doug Williams, Trent Dilfer, Nick Foles, Jim Plunkett, Jeff Hostler, all Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. I don't think any of us would say, well, these guys are amongst the best ever, right? But they all won the Super Bowl at least once. So I guess, Goo, I kind of disagree a little bit with you in putting too much importance on how the team's success relates to the quarterback. I mean, it's true that the quarterback's the most important position in football. I think we all agree on that.
Okay.
You know, if you count the kickers and the returners, the quarterback is only one of 26 starters on a football team, and the quarterback only plays offense. They're never out there for defense. Obviously, they're not there for special teams. So I put a lot of weight on them, but you know, I think the team's success can be, you can have a great team with a bad quarterback or vice versa. So I don't give the quarterback, you know, all the credit for team success. I don't blame a quarterback, you know, like, what's his name down in the Dolphins, right? One of the best quarterbacks ever. And they had some teams that weren't very good.
Yeah,
Marino. Yeah. So, you know, would you take Marino or would you take Trent Dilfer? I think the answer is pretty clear.
Right.
But, you know, so I guess I look at it that way. And so I think that he's, you know, you have to kind of evaluate the quarterback relative to other quarterbacks. And I disagree. I don't like the philosophy that you have to pay, you know, the top 10 guys all the same. I think there should be some difference between, say, I love Purdy. I'm a big Purdy fan.
I was just going to ask you, would you pay him? That's what I was just about to ask you.
I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's great. I'm a big fan. I have been since even the first preseason. I thought he looked good, especially good. But, you know, to me, he's in that 6 to 10 range category in the NFL, one of the top, but not the top 5. To me, that's where I put him. And I think he should be paid that way. Now, the other flip side of that is what this article that guys came up about quarterbacks. I haven't seen it, but based on what you said, it does remind me a little bit of the max contract situation in the NBA. We're kind of seeing that too, right? You know, some guys like Durant and people like that deserve that max contract, but then you get a lot of other people like, hey, how about me? I should get the max contract too. We're starting to get down there and low. So I'm all for paying people what they owe and whatever, but I'm not for like overpaying people, and I don't support paying people based on what they could be in the future. I kind of want to see them do it now before I pay them. That's kind of how I am. So anyway, I think it's a great conversation, but that's where I come down on it.
Hey, great call.
Appreciate it, Pat. Thank you.
Oh, that NBA, Steiny, that was a great call. You know, if we did that, and I know it's different sports, but I mean, how many times is it right to where the talent matches the contract? Well, I think we're in an era of sports now where it's so out of whack, not hating, but we could, you know, I love Jaylen Brown. Is he worth that deal? And there he's a champ. Jason Tatum, but that's the going rate, right?
No, I don't necessarily think so. Like, I think right now the Celtics payroll is ridiculous. Like, they're not going to be able to keep this up. But that team won a championship. So, like, if you win a championship, to me, it justifies whatever your payroll is.
Even before, because they got the contract before they won the chip.
Well, then they won it. They proved that it was worth it. But what I'm saying is the teams that don't succeed are the teams that pay a guy too much and he's just not worth it. You can't pay a guy in any sport $40 or $50 million if they're not one of the best players on the team, or like the second best player on the team. The Warriors are going to come up. Warriors are going to face this with Kuminga, and we're going to talk about that, I think, a little bit later. Maybe we'll push it to tomorrow.
But
I don't
it's totally
know.
different.
Well, it's not.
He's so he ain't Brock Purdy.
Right. So when he asked for $45 million a year,
I got to say no.
Okay.
Hey, well, especially when I could see one more year before I could make that decision.
Let's go to Daniel in San Ramon. Hey, Daniel, how you doing?
Gee.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to throw one little thing out there.
Yeah.
Let's say we were to pay Brock Purdy $50 million, and he delivered whatever he delivered in Game 1 versus the Jets. Do you think the majority of the 49er fan base would have been pleased with that performance? Again, we're looking at Brandon Ayuk. Once we paid him the money and he kind of had that one drop, everybody kind of turned on him, right? So I'm just wondering what's going to happen to Brock. I think they are going to pay him, but once he does get paid and he delivers like a 230 yards passing, let's say it's like a 19 for 27, no touchdowns, I just wonder what the fan base is going to think of that.
Now, that's a great question.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I think it's going to be a little bit on the negative side, but yeah, go ahead, guys. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I know what the answer is. They're not going to be happy.
Well, he had that. I don't want to say the numbers on the front end, but the back end, no touchdowns, no interceptions in the Super Bowl. But, Steiny, I'm like, is that going to be 16 wins? Are we going to go 13-3 with that stat line? And if we lose, is it because I didn't throw a pick? Like, the guy's earning something, and what I'm seeing, and it's Brock Purdy for this example, is, so now we got to do the autopsy of why he's having success, but we can't give him credit for being part of this success. That's why I'm telling you, I'd bet my right arm he's getting 55 or 60 already.
I would not bet against that under any circumstances. But I think what the caller just said.
Well, we actually have a bet.
Who?
Oh,
You and I. You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah,
That Brock Purdy's going to be a $60 million quarterback.
Okay.
You feel good about it?
Didn't I just use 55 and 60? I said he wouldn't.
Well, you just said you wouldn't bet against it, but you have.
You did. So 55,
I said
you would win.
55,
Yeah,
okay.
You would win.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Want to make sure our bet was still on the table.
You would win.
I'm just saying that you know what? And I'll what was the last caller's name? He was Money.
Let's call him Money.
Let's put the rat on the table.
Brought to you by Echo.
He's exactly right. If Brock Purdy gets paid $56 million in the offseason and they play next year, and opening night is exactly like it was,
6 field goals,
it absolutely, positively will not be as positive for Brock Purdy.
even if they won the way that they did. So now I'm turning into you every day. So
Right.
it's fantasy football then. So if he signs that contract and throws for 440 and they lose, but he puts up 3 touchdowns and the yardage and what do you want? I want W's in the season, regular season, and the postseason.
You want W's in the regular season now?
No. If
you got a quarterback who's done that.
Yes, but Steiny, you know what I mean. Brock Purdy's got 4-2, right? I believe.
This is the only thing, and I'm not betting against Purdy, but this is kind of what I mean.
But you're coming off as you feel like you might be able to go find another version of Purdy. That's how you and Austin and San Jose are starting to come off.
That's not true.
Like, hey, the Cowboys can't do it. Other teams can't do it because it's hard. But you think Kyle might. It sounds like that you feel like you might be able to go get something that could be just as efficient as Brock Purdy.
I'm putting myself in Kyle Shanahan's. I'm putting myself in Kyle Shanahan's position
because he's so brilliant.
Right.
But you got something that's working. Why go away from it?
Jimmy Garoppolo worked just as well.
But Jimmy got in his own way. He couldn't stay healthy.
Okay. And let's see if Brock can stay healthy this year. That's the only thing I'm saying is look, Purdy's been great. Small sample size. Okay.
But Steiny, when you got a Super Bowl on that sample platter, it's bigger than a small sample size. Give me that. Dude did not wet the bed in the bowl. Did he play his best?
No. See, this is what
and he got you there. He was part of the reason you were there.
That because after 8 years, you've made a determination about Dak Prescott, and after 2 years,
my man's taking you somewhere.
You feel the same
Dak is
way.
not taking you.
You said
or Josh Allen,
right.
or Lamar Jackson, or Tua.
Okay, and just like Jimmy Garoppolo, half the fans would say, "Goo, he didn't take you. He was the quarterback on that team." James in Mountain View. What's up, James? How you doing?
Very good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I was just curious if the NFL allowed the amazing flexibility that Shohei Ohtani got with his contract, because I do think Brock's going to get paid, even if he has a mid-level year. He's probably going to have a great year. So 40 to 60 million is going to be extremely disruptive to this team, right?
Okay.
So he probably wants to stay. He probably doesn't want to break up the band because he's going to stay. You know, he seems like a reasonable guy, but he is worth a lot of money. So is there flexibility in how they structure the contract so they don't have to get rid of good players and keep Brock and pay Brock? Thanks.
Well, I mean, they'll do whatever they can to manipulate the numbers, I'm sure. And I guess they're pretty good at it. But I mean, they can't circumvent the salary cap. I know that. What do you pay a quarterback? And how do you determine how much you pay him?
Well, I'm paying him for what he's doing and what we're doing, collectively. Not the go and market and what, remember what's my old adage, Steiny Norm? I'm worried about what's going on in this household under this roof. And if it's working, and it almost has, I'm writing them that check.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Bobby in Los Altos.
Our guy.
What's up, Bobby? How you doing?
Hey, fellas. It's still morning. 1 minute. Oh, now good afternoon. Good afternoon.
There it is.
Sure.
Yeah. So, look, first of all, I want to talk about Brock Purdy, but two quick things. First of all, Steinmetz, you are being really unfair to Guru. Dak is on his third contract, so you can't compare someone on their third contract versus someone that's not even on their second contract. I don't think it's fair that you can use the same measuring stick to try to evaluate Dak versus Brock. Okay, and number two, first of all, as a Christian McCaffrey owner in fantasy league, that dude screwed me, or that organization screwed me. By putting Monday night last minute scratch, I lost my match by 2 points.
Shake it off, B.
Yeah, but everybody's like that. So look, at least they're playing Sunday morning games. So if they scratch them, I got enough time to find a replacement. But look, Goo, at the beginning you said you're worried about CMC, playing, not playing. I don't think it matters, to be honest with you. I'd rather he not play on that AstroTurf. And the Niners have already proven they don't need him necessarily to do well. I mean, there would be a lot more concerns and questions if Mason didn't have such an amazing game. But the fact is he can rest, get healthy, because we really don't need him. Like I said, the question to be answered is, can they win the Super Bowl? So hopefully if they make it to the playoffs, God willing, that's when we really need him. So I'm okay, and I don't think he's mad that he's not playing. Everybody knows CMC is a much more multi-dimensional player than Mason, so I don't think CMC is sitting there wondering if some of the shine is coming off of his name. I wouldn't be worried. Now, in terms of Brock Purdy, I think the thing that upsets me the most when I listen to everybody calling in and saying he's not worth $60 million, he's worth $30 or $40 million. The fact is, the price is the price. The next contract up, the next quarterback that's a starting quarterback is going to get over 60. So Brock's going to get about 62, right, to top Dak. And the thing is, he is an elite quarterback in the NFL, and it isn't because of his physical gifts. There are a ton of kids out there that come out looking like an elite quarterback, tall, monster arm. Let's talk Mike Glennon or whatever you want to say. But the fact is, the reason why Brock Purdy is so successful is his processor, his ability to read. And so if Shanahan can scheme up something, great. But if you don't have a quarterback that can actually read the field, figure out the checkdowns, figure out what side of the field to eliminate pre-snap, then it doesn't matter It doesn't matter what physical gifts you have. So can we stop saying he's worth $40 million? And for all you clowns that want to sign him to a $30 million a year contract, so go ahead and find a half of Brock Purdy and see how happy you are because you got a better value. We're going to be paying that kid $62 million. We're paying him for his mind and his decision making. So let's stop if he can't run a 4.2 40. Let's stop if he can't throw the ball 70 yards on the fly on his back foot. He knows how to win, and we're going to be paying him $62 million, and he's the most important player in the organization. And Shanahan cannot win with a Mike Glennon, all right? So please, just pay the man, and let's just move on.
Well, Bobby, when they pay him, everything's going to change. And when they pay him, the discussion will then center on whether he's worth it.
But that's across the board in sports. Right.
Exactly. And he doesn't have to deal with that now because he's making $1 million.
And the reality
but if he
is
makes $60
he may
million,
have a chip before he gets to the table.
Maybe he will.
Okay.
But if he makes $60 million, he's going to be talked about just like, well, is that too much for Cousins? Is that too much for Carr? Is that too much for Tua? Is that too much for Trevor? They're going to say, is that too much for Purdy?
No, I'm not arguing that.
And then, I'm just saying, everything's going to change at that point. Let's go to
Mike Glennon catching strays.
Let's go to Steel Toe in San Mateo. What's up, Steel Toe?
Thank you for taking my call. Love the conversation. No, I'd like to agree with Guru. I think Dak Prescott is not worth it. I'm like, Guru, I can see Dak Prescott. He reached his ceiling, and all he's doing is just taking more money, and his ceiling keeps going down. With Brock Purdy, he hasn't reached his ceiling. So that's why you're going to keep paying him because you know he could get better. There's certain guys who got paid too much and they're already reached their ceiling and they're going down, like Aaron Rodgers. He's going down. This should be his last year and he should retire. Same thing with Kirk Cousins. He more than reached his ceiling. That's it. He popped his Achilles. He's going down. There's certain guys you can see. Russell Wilson, he was good, and now he's no longer going to go expand his ceiling. There's certain guys who shouldn't be getting paid, and we should move on to better, younger guys who's going to develop. I love the way Brock Purdy's going, and I think he is worth it like the other car. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah. 888-957-9570 is the number. We're talking about what's the right number to pay quarterbacks. And playing off this Mike Sando article, which the one thing that it tells you is Brock is going to get paid, whether he's a tier 1, a tier 2, or a tier 3
That's
quarterback.
established. All right.
I mean, he's going to get paid.
Right.
Because that's what teams are doing, and that's what he was saying. 4 guys got paid a lot of money who really haven't done a whole hell of a lot.
And what about, again, I know we're not in the Mile High City, Steiny. Just think about what Denver was thinking, because now you got me thinking about how scared these organizations are to try to go find a quarterback. You think they want that $242 million back that they gave Russell Wilson thinking he was going to be the savior?
Of course.
And they could have just said, you know what, F that, we'll try to find a boat. Like, that was out of desperation and fear, and it didn't pay off. So, I mean, we see it more and more, but for the people that say, and I keep calling Kyle brilliant and genius, why not give a man a reward for orchestrating your offense? I don't look at that as a demerit or, hey, we don't want to pay Brock this because I think I could go find something over here and turn. Like, nah, they got something going. This guy looks like he's got the goods. Is it over yet? No, Steiny. It's round 4 of his career in a 15-round bout. But, man, he's going to have to get paid here in some months. And, again, he may have that chip by the time that happens.
Let's go to Joe in Vallejo. What's up, Joe? How you doing, man?
Hello, gentlemen. How we doing?
Good.
Great conversation. When the owner of the 49ers came out and said that they were going to set the market with Purdy contract, I truly believe the NFL owners, this thing is out of hand. Like Brandon Ayuk got more than he should have got, and I believe with
We lost you, Joe.
Call back.
You know what, though? We got you?
Yeah, hello?
Oh, go ahead, Joe. Yeah, you're still on. Sorry.
I believe that Brock Purdy is the perfect person because of his story that they can reset the market. They're going to bring it back down. No owner that's going to come out and say, we're going to reset the market, saying I'm going to give him more money. What he's going to say is, we're going to bring him back down where it should be. We're not going to overpay it. And no, I really believe that's what's going to happen. He will get no more than 30 to 35. And the last but not least, the quarterback position like Dak, it's a sexy position. They paid Garoppolo $25 million because of his look and everything. Jim McMahon in Chicago, he had terrible stats compared to Brock Purdy, but he was the funky QB. And they go by all of that. Joe Burrow got paid because of his look and all that stuff. It ain't right. Brock, it should be what he do on the field, but it's a sexy position, and nobody does it better than Mahomes. Brock Purdy will reset the market by bringing it back down. Oh. The owners will see to that.
Thanks, Joe.
Call us back, Joe. I think Joe's wrong with that, Steiny.
Guru's taught me a phrase that I kind of like, and it's, he told on himself.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah, you told on yourself.
When?
During that call. You told on yourself.
I didn't say anything.
Exactly. But here's what you did. Let me reenact. Let me reenact.
Evan, what is that,
when
man?
The caller said, when Jed York said that Brock Purdy was going to reset the quarterback market, you went, ooh. See, that paying Brock 60 is going to hurt, and there's a risk involved. That's all I'm saying. Because remember, this is where I get off you and I just part ways. I'll never pay somebody when it's worth it. You think Joe Lacob, when he gave Curry the $200 million, they did that? No, he was worth it. I'm not saying Brock Purdy is Steph Curry. My stomach was bugging.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But no, seriously. But Steiny, Brock's getting paid. I'm just flabbergasted that people are now starting to say Brock is a byproduct of Kyle.
Well, they've said that since he started.
Okay, but Mahomes do we do it with Mahomes, a byproduct of Andy? It's funny.